Okay, good morning, maybe good afternoon, everybody. Let us go directly to the point more in this case. Harry Markham's loyalty dilemma. From the title, we could see something about loyalty here. This guy, he belongs to two sides. One about his ethics, about his standards, and the other one, the company that hired him to do something for them. In their case, in the central problem here, we see the dilemmas came down to conflicting loyalties: loyalty to his firm, and loyalty to the boards of trustees and others who made the investment decisions for public pensions and who by turn hired his firm to provide investment expertise, and loyalty to the ventures themselves, as Markham believed was called for by the CFA Code of Ethics and the Standards of Professional Conduct. This is the central problem for this case.
Okay, now we're going to look at the key issues here. Ethical issues between stated values and behaviors among the stakeholders. So then you have the firm, which is Investing Consulting Associates, or ICA, and Harry. You have the Board of Trustees for State Pension Fund. And I just want to say that this board does not like to hear bad news when it comes to their accounting issues. And then you have the state employees, which are the pensioners, and these are the people that invest in the pension funds for their retirement. Another issue is, key issue, is Harry's personal ethics and professional code of ethics. Harry knows what he needs to do, and the problem is, does he look at it from the personal side, or does he look at it from the professional side? But this is a problem that he is now facing. And then you have a discrepancy in how liabilities to the plans are calculated and the impact of the term, which is liability of the plan. And so this problem is that what the problem is here is that Harry knows that there is a accounting issue because they are calculating far more than what they needed to. And so Harry sees this as an accounting issue. And then you have the last one. All stakeholders want to maintain the status quo. In other words, the board, everyone just want to just continue to do things the way how they've been doing it for years and just maintain the same thing without any problem. So now I'm going to turn it over to Rusty, and he's going to talk with you about alternatives.
Okay, when we look at this, we identified two alternatives. The first one is not to explain the liability issues. This is our technical solution, and basically it's to keep the status quo, no questions asked. The pro of this actually is the board of trustees will be kept unaware of the dangers, and they'll be happy. They don't want to know there's problems there. He and his firm will keep their jobs. There's no questions. An angry board sometimes fires people. State pension plan will still have political support because no one will know that there's more liabilities than they think. The cons, his personal and professional ethical views will be violated. He took an oath and signed it every year to guarantee that he was going to be an ethical member of the Certified Financial Officers Association. Turns out if he actually continues this path, he could lose his license if push comes to shove, because he knew that there was some issues with the calculations. And eventually the biggest problem we're going to have is the liabilities are going to catch up with the plan. And either the employees will lose their benefits or the taxpayers will have to pay more to make the catch up for it. Another thing he can't do, he can't give accurate advice to the board of trustees because they won't understand why he's making the choices that he's making. They'll just wonder why he's trying to be so conservative or so aggressive. That leads us to another alternative we discussed for a while. This is alternative 2. Approach to alternative 2, pretty straightforward. It shows loyalty to his personal and professional ethics. He honestly deep down believes he needs to tell them that there is a problem. It's going to allow Harry to better explain to the board of trustees their true financial picture. And once the actual picture is clear, he's going to be able to provide sound financial advising to help them get out of the hole they don't know they're in right now. And it shows loyalty to the people in the state retirement plan. These people have worked for 30 years before they draw a single dime. And if it's miscalculated, their payments will be greatly reduced, or they may not even get some payments. There have been a couple of states that went bankrupt and the plan itself had no money. He's trying to avoid all of that. The cons, the first one right away, shows disloyalty to his firm. His firm has been hired to give advice and to keep the board happy. That's the 2 goals of the firm. And this definitely right here would cause headaches for them, which could lead to him and his firm being fired. Sometimes you just kill the messenger. The state pension plan may lose taxpayer support because guess what? They're going to figure out that they have to put additional funds in to meet the obligations for these employees that they've had. And the final and the big thing is the state pension plan could lose political support, sending it to a private service, sending it to a 401k. Those are kind of the reasons that we start saying you have to do the right thing, and that's going to lead us to Barbara.
We decided that our solution was based on Heifetz's book on adaptation. And so the solution is that they have to adapt. The technical solution will only perpetuate the problem. And so we feel like that the best thing that Harry can do is learn from the lessons from the past and step into the challenge of adaptive leadership. We think that he should first, according to Heifetz, create disequilibrium, which includes making all stakeholders aware of the severity of the situation. He needs to review the past, things that they learned from 2008 when all of their finances did not meet the expectations, and then the result that and impact that had on their investment. Also showing them the facts regarding the discrepancies between the different types of investment models that exist. There's defined benefits and there's also defined contributions. And he needs to review with everyone involved what they're doing and what their outcomes are, and then what are successful endeavors and what are not. After that, he needs to create urgency. He needs to seek consensus on how to advise the group moving forward. What do they want to know and what do they want to hear? Because those things would all be based on their own personal point of view and how much they want to know and not know. What information do they need to hear versus what information do they want to hear? Heifetz said that the best way to adaptively lead is by handing the problem back to the people who are responsible for solving it. So it's not he or his firm that have the answers to solve this problem. It's going to come from each of the individuals who are participating and hiring his firm to give them advice. And that comes from clarifying their values and aligning their behaviors accordingly. So Heifetz says that that disequilibrium is caused by the discrepancy between their stated values and the behaviors that they're displaying. And what Harry has run into is this discrepancy. And so by forcing the groups to start to look and evaluate what their values are and what they stand for and what's important, it will be easier for them to make the hard decisions that are coming ahead of them. Our references are Heifetz. And are there any questions?